Mr. Briggs, on your comments.
Sure, Chairman Couson, Vice Chairman Boryak, and members of the committee. My name is Gifford Briggs, President of Louisiana Oil and Gas Association, and thank you for the opportunity to visit with you this morning. I want to echo some of the comments of Representative DeVilliers. The oil and gas industry is in dire need of a shot in the arm right now. In times like these, more than anything, we need predictability. We need to know exactly what to expect and who we are expected to deliver it to. That's why we support Senate Bill 440 and Representative DeVilliers' amendment to clarify and reaffirm the legislature's original intent in the Coastal Zone Management Act that the state has sole enforcement authority over issues of state concern. When combined with Senate Bill 440, the legislature will have provided much-needed clarity and consistency in the statute. Removing the gray areas that have allowed private plaintiff lawyers to manipulate local governments into senseless lawsuits that have done nothing but drive people, jobs, and investments out of the state is extremely important. And while we're on this subject, those lawyers are about to come up here to this table in just a bit with pictures and stories trying to convince you that they're doing it for the coast. They aren't. It's all about the money, and we all know it. They're also going to try and convince you that this is about big oil. It's not. These lawsuits target over 200 companies. The majority are small and independent operators. Many have been LOGA members for years. They employ thousands of workers and support thousands of families with good, high-paying jobs. And they won't talk to you about that. They won't talk to you about my good friend Mike Moncla, who is here with us today. Generational family business destroyed by the lawsuits. And no, they're not even a defendant. They may also come over to tell you that they're on the verge of a big settlement. They just need a little more time. Well, they've been peddling that snake oil since the lawsuits were first filed. 8 years later, these lawsuits have produced nothing for our coast, where oil and gas has generated over $230 million for coastal restoration and protection projects. They're also going to tell you that this bill is going to derail their supposed $100 million Freeport settlement with Freeport-McMoRan. The truth is that deal was dead the moment they announced it in the newspaper, before they had even talked to many of the people that were supposed to sign it. Lafourche Parish President R.G. Chasson is here with us today, and I'm sure he is eager to share more with you about that. The lawyers may also try to convince you that once the parishes are dropped from the suits, the state has to start all over again. That's not true either. When passed through the state, the Attorney General and DNR will continue on with the lawsuits.
Mr. Gifford, on your close.
Yes. The question that should be asked is, why is the state not here in support of the bill? Why is DNR? Why is the governor? Why are they advocating for the outsourcing of the state's enforcement authority to private plaintiff lawyers working for local government, and not here fighting for their own enforcement authority? Mr. Chairman, thank you for the opportunity today, and I will yield the remainder of my time to Mr. Moncla and others that need to speak.
Mr. Moncla, please introduce yourself to the committee. Once again, we're going to limit it to comments, and I know you have a lot more to say, and I appreciate that. But in the interest of time, the mic is yours.
I'll read fast. Thanks for having me today. My name is Mike Moncla with Moncla Energy Services out of Lafayette. I'm a proud third-generation oil-field Louisianian. My grandfather started Pelican Well Service in 1956. Now today at Moncla Energy Services, we have several entities that provide those same well site services to the oil and gas companies of Louisiana, just like my grandfather and father did. The biggest entity for us was Moncla Marine. From 2010 to 2014, we operated 11 barge rigs, employed over 300 workers, had annual payrolls to Louisianians in excess of $17 million, had paid taxes on annual revenues of over $40 million. Today, that business is completely shut down. 0 employees, 0 revenue, and we're having to sell barges at pennies on the dollar. Moncla Marine is just one of many victims of this hostile legal climate in the state that continues to drive away investors and workers alike. Over the years, we've gotten used to being sued. First, it was a steady stream of Jones Act lawsuits. Our company averages about 10 a year, of which 99% are frivolous. Basically, just settling cases for less than it would cost to go to trial. We take care of our people. And in fact, our largest payouts we've ever had were to employees that didn't hire lawyers at all. These types of suits went after us and our insurance. But then came the tidal wave of legacy lawsuits and now the coastal suits, which are the worst of them all. They are after our customers. These government-sponsored lawsuits have pushed the customer base out of our state. The inland water segment of our industry, which was the state's golden goose for decades, paying out billions in royalties and taxes to Louisiana, has basically been exterminated by coastal lawsuits. We've got to find a better way before all the jobs and investments are gone for good. I believe Senate Bill 440 and the amendments offered by Representative DeVilliers will help provide some much-needed stability and predictability in these lawsuits. If there's any merit to these suits, the state should be pursuing them, not a few plaintiff lawyers who stand and make a fortune. And if there's any money that comes from all this, it should go straight to the coast. That's just common sense. Without question, we need to do this. And we need to do it now before it's too late. I still get calls and texts from former employees that are tired of commuting back and forth to Texas. They want their Louisiana jobs back. Every single time, it's really hard for me to tell them right now, there's very little hope for that. I beg you and urge you to do the right thing. Support Senate Bill 440 for our coast, for our workers, for our economy, before it's too late. Thank you, Mr. Chairman and committee.
Thank you, Mr. Moncla. You represent your family and your company well.